new updates on the current status of Senate Bill 83, the full breakdown and how students are getting involved.
And students on campus are raising their voices on what they want for their education, what they're doing to get the state's attention.
We are enjoying some increasing temperatures, but that could change in the coming days. More about your forecast ahead.
New information released following a grand jury's decision to not file criminal charges against the officers who fatally shot Jalen Walker. All this and more as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good Wednesday evening, Portage County. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Chris Abreu.
And I'm Kelsey Drennen. We begin the show with team coverage about Senate Bill 83 and how it affects students here right on campus. Senate Bill 83 seeks to add new sections of law governing higher education in Ohio.
That's right, Kelsey. TV2's own Jacob Brooks joins us at the desk with a breakdown of the bill and what it means. Hi, Jacob.
Hi, guys. Yeah, there were a lot of new developments on this bill today, and there's actually a Senate committee hearing on it that's happening right now at the State House. And two Kent students, along with the Kent State Faculty Union president, are expected to testify. The Kent State Faculty Union President Deb Smith, along with two Kent students, are in Columbus right now to testify in opposition to Senate Bill 83. Over a dozen members of USG were also in Columbus today to meet with politicians about legislation. The organization condemned Senate Bill 83 last week.
We just want to let you know that we're here to help and serve and to try to be as good as leaders as you are in your elected positions at Kent State.
The bill is called the Ohio Higher Education Enhancement Act. It was introduced last month by Senator Jerry Serino. The bill includes a wide range of proposals. It would change how university faculty are hired and fired, ban mandatory diversity training, and not allow a university to take a stance on social issues. Before she left for Columbus, Smith spoke with me about why she's so concerned.
This bill, almost every aspect of it is highly problematic, and almost everyone who's an opponent of it is really having to choose their battles.
One of her biggest concerns is that the bill would have a significant impact on what professors can teach. She says the bill wouldn't allow them to teach ideas related to topics like climate change and racism.
I don't think that that value can be legislated without having an undue impact on academic freedom of faculty.
She's been working on scheduling an in-person meeting with Senator Serino.
I have had conversations with Senator Serino about the role of higher education and what it can and should be. And I think that there's quite a lot of overlap in our vision.
Smith says her goal is to prevent the bill from becoming law, but she says she has her doubts.
My primary goal is to kill the bill. I also know that it's not likely to happen.
Now, Jacob, I guess the question that many people are wondering is, what are the next steps for Senate Bill 83 in the next coming months?
Yeah, so first, several student organizations are going to be holding what they're calling a community dialogue. That's Friday morning in the Student Center. And as for the bill itself, right now it's in the Senate committee. It has to go through the Senate, pass the Senate, and then the House, and they can each make changes to the language of the bill. And then at that point, once the Senate and House pass it, then it goes to the governor who would sign it into law.
Well, thank you very much for that report, Jacob. Now we continue our team coverage of Senate Bill 83 with Noah Rowe, who has more on how students are getting their voices heard. Hi, Noah.
Hi guys, that's right. Last night the ACLU hosted an event that gave Kent State students more information about House Bill 458 as well as Senate Bill 83. And then a letter writing workshop was held to help students contact their representatives.
Just sad, speechless, and mad, like super mad and annoyed.
Initially, I was honestly confused because it just seemed like a very crazy thing to be happening. And then learning about it more today, I was just feel very angry and scared because this is something that is going to affect me and a lot of people around me.
Ty Womack, an organizing intern for ACLU of Ohio, talked about the importance of students contacting their representatives.
Students taking back that power, letting their representatives know that I do not agree with this, I do strictly and definitively oppose this, is really affirming, I think, for students.
Many students said they are concerned about a section of the bill that would limit public universities from teaching controversial beliefs and the effect that would have on Kent's campus.
You know, we live in a very precarious political landscape, so really anything can fall under the umbrella of political controversy. like women's right to vote, that could be politically controversial. Students' right to vote at the age of 18, controversial. And that's, that's something we, should worry us when we look at legislation like this.
College students are going to be the main population that will be directly affected by the Senate bill. This is going to completely change the education that we are receiving now, as well as the communities and interactions that we have on campus. There are a lot of communities around shared experiences here, and I really think that this bill is going to get rid of all of that.
Many of the students who attended also discussed why the issue was so important to them.
We all need to step up and contribute to and try to actually do something. I know, like, when Roe v. Wade was talking about being overturned, I was like, there's no way. I didn't do anything about it. I just sat around, and then it did get overturned, and it really changed my whole perspective on everything, that I need to get up and actually try to make a difference.
And a community dialogue event will be hosted on Friday in the Student Center to both provide more information about the Senate bill and give students a chance to share their thoughts on the legislation. For more updates about Senate Bill 83 and other stories, be sure to check out kentwired.com. Reporting for TV2, I'm Noah Rowe. Good evening, everyone. I'm Aaron Houck. Let's go ahead and take a look at our forecast for this evening. Currently in Kent, it is 62 degrees and sunny. Feels like 62. Our dew point this evening is at 30. Winds are light, east at 5 miles per hour. Humidity is on the low side at 33%, and visibility is at a clear 10 miles. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast going into this evening and tomorrow morning. 50 degrees will be our temperature overnight with partly cloudy skies, which will open up to abundant sunshine tomorrow morning and in the early afternoon. Winds will pick up just a little bit, 5 to 10 miles per hour, and your sunset this evening is at 8:09 p.m. Now for tomorrow. Our temperatures are going to start off in the morning a little bit more chill than they normally would. 50 degrees will be our temperature right in the morning, and then opening up to some sunshine in the afternoon. I believe it's going to be 75 right around 12 p.m., and then our temperatures are going to boost all the way up to 79 at 6 p.m. with a chance of some cloud cover coming in the evening. Coming up, we'll take a look at our statewide temperatures and your 7-day forecast.
Thanks, Aaron. More information is released regarding the Akron police officers involved in the 2022 shooting of Jaylen Walker. Documents from the Ohio Attorney General's office say the length of police service of the 8 officers who shot at Walker ranged from 2.5 years to 6 years, and 4 of them served in the military. Earlier this week, a special grand jury declined to indict the officers, whose identities have not been released for safety-related concerns. According to the grand jury, the officers were justified with their use of force. 25-year-old Walker was fatally shot on June 27, 2022, after a police chase.
And a single confirmed case for the measles is being investigated by the Summit County Public Health. The department is beginning to look for those who were in contact with the individual. The measles can be easily spread by coughing, talking, or being in the same room with someone who has it. Officials say the best way to protect yourself against the measles is to get the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine.
Ohio legislatures are looking to add an amendment to House Bill 8, which would require teachers to share health information about students to their parents, even if they expect abuse. House Bill 8, also known as the Parental Bill of Rights, originally took school staff's ability to keep mental, physical, and emotional health information away from parents that seemed somewhat caring away. The amendment to the bill would require them to give students health information in all cases, whether they expect abuse or not. Eyes on the Supreme Court today as they look at a case regarding a commonly used abortion pill. The stakes of their ruling ahead.
And Tyree Nichols' family filed a lawsuit for his death, how much money they're asking for, and who they're filing it against.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. The U.S. Supreme Court is debating a major medical abortion pill case today. If they decide to let the lower court ruling stand, it would restrict access to mifepristone, a drug used to terminate pregnancies.
The ruling in the case has been delayed to Friday, and the case is a challenge to the FDA's approach to regulating the drug. So the Supreme Court's decision will also determine the FDA's authority in regulating mifepristone.
Fox News reached a last-second settlement with Dominion Voting Systems yesterday, right as the case was about to reach opening statements in Wilmington, Delaware. Fox News paid Dominion nearly $790 million to settle the 2-year legal battle, making it the largest publicly known defamation settlement in U.S. history. After the jury was sworn in Tuesday, an unexplained hours-long delay paused proceedings in court, triggering speculation about a settlement. The last-minute deal means the case is effectively over and won't proceed to trial.
It was back in the day when Alan Marshall take a damn blackjack, whoop their throw them in the cell, I'd run for sheriff. Yeah. Well, it's not like that no more. I know. We're taking them down here on Mud Creek and hang them up with the damn rope. Yeah. But you can't do that. The thing about it is, they got more rights than we got.
Audio of racist remarks made by officials in Oklahoma that sparked outrage amongst the public apparently should have never been recorded. The audio consisted of officials discussing their frustrations of not being able to hang black people and plotting to kill a reporter. The sheriff's office claimed them to be victims because they were recorded without consent. There was a unanimous vote to suspend Sheriff Kevin Clardy, investigator Alicia Manning, and jail administrator Larry Hendricks. However, the suspension does not remove them from their jobs at the department. The reporter who recorded the conversation is now being investigated.
The family of Tyree Nichols filed a federal $550 million lawsuit against the city of Memphis, its police department, and what the lawsuit describes as unsupervised officers who beat the 29-year-old black man at a traffic stop in January. Tyree later died from his injuries in the hospital 3 days later. The lawsuit states that this is the result of unconstitutional practices and a lack of oversight. The 5 officers involved in the beating were indicted back in January and were arraigned February 17th on criminal charges as well.
And more information is being released on the shooting of an Alabama Sweet 16 party that left 4 dead and 32 wounded. 2 teenagers from Tuskegee were arrested and charged with 4 counts of reckless murder. The shooting took place last weekend at the Mahogany Masterpiece Dance Studio in Dadeville, and Alabama Sergeant Jeremy Burkett spoke on the shooting and their frustrations.
We're thinking about the families. We're concerned about the families. We were in the beginning, and we will be through the remainder of this investigation, because somebody's got to start thinking about mama. Because I know I'm tired of it, and everybody behind me's tired of it. We're tired of going to the mothers and having to tell them that these kids are not coming home.
A rare celestial event is coming up, a hybrid solar eclipse. This happens when the moon passes in between the Earth and the sun, making it look ring-shaped in areas in its path, like parts of Australia and Indonesia.
That's right, the eclipse will begin tonight at 10:37 p.m. and it is the first of its kind in a decade. According to Earth Sky, it will last until 1:56 a.m. So I gotta ask, are you planning to, maybe take a look?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's not uncommon for me to stay up that late at this time of year because it's the end of the semester.
Yes, I mean, and hopefully the weather is nice enough so you can sit outside and watch it.
Well, I'm sure our weather anchor, Aaron, can let us know. What can you tell us, Aaron?
Absolutely. Tonight is going to be a beautiful night to go ahead and look up at those stars. But for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at the temperatures in our state for this evening. Currently in Kent, here it is 62 degrees, as I'd mentioned earlier, 64 in Youngstown and Canton, 65 in Worcester, 68 in Mansfield, 47 in Sandusky, 49 in Cleveland, and 48 in Ashtabula. It's a little bit more chilly up there on the lakefront. As for the rest of our state, 65 in Akron, 67 in Steubenville, 78 in Athens, 74 in Columbus, 73 in Lima, 80 in Dayton, and 81 in Cincinnati. Now for your 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, a high of 82 with a low of 58. Moving into Friday, we have some partly cloudy skies rolling into our area, dropping our high just a little bit down to 75 with a low of 50. Moving into our weekend, Saturday has a chance for some morning rain showers to roll into our area with a high of 53 and a low of 36. Sunday, cloudy skies persisting for a majority of the day with a high of 48 and a low of 33. Moving into the beginning of next week, temperatures are going to drop just a little bit again. Monday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 49 and 57 will be our high on Tuesday, with some rain showers once again rolling in on Wednesday with a high of 61. And that is all for your evening weather report. Stay tuned at kentwire.com for more news and weather updates. I'm Aaron Houck.
Thanks, Aaron. President Joe Biden's tax returns were officially released today. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden earned a little over $579,000 in 2022. Most of their joint income is from the president's annual $400,000 salary, along with pensions. The first couple also made income from royalties for prior writing and speaking engagements. They paid over $169,000 in combined federal and state income taxes, with an effective federal income tax rate of nearly 24%.
And India is about to pass China as the world's most populous nation. The United Nations released data today showing there's almost 3 million more people in the country. The United States placed third with only having roughly 340 million, while both India and China are estimated to be in the billions.
Residents in the capital of Sudan, Khartoum, are fleeing the city as the fifth day of fighting continues. The conflict is between the Sudanese military and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, and they are fighting over disagreements on how to restore civilian rule in Sudan. Witnesses report civilians leaving on foot and by car early this morning as gunfire and explosions happened all over the city. The paramilitary Rapid Support Services put forth a ceasefire, and the military said they agreed, but gunfire can still be heard across the city.
After a health scare, Damar Hamlin is looking to make his way back to the NFL. What he had to say on the process of coming back to the field.
The Flashes are gaining some national attention. Find out why when we come back for sports.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Buffalo Bills' Damar Hamlin announced yesterday in a press conference that he will make a comeback to the NFL. This follows his collapse on the field on January 2nd, which he revealed yesterday was caused by commotio cordis, a rare heart condition that caused the disease of 330 young athletes since the 1980s to pass away.
Hamlin says he knows it will be a process, but his doctors say returning to football could be good for his mental health. Now, it is nice that he is getting, back onto the field.
That's right, Kelsey, but we want to move into our local sports news, like around Kent State and around Portage County. So let's see what Della has for us. Hi, Della.
Hey guys, I'm Della Fowler, and we are going to keep the good vibes rolling here. We'll shift from Damar Hamlin's wonderful recovery to my favorite baseball team and yours, the Golden Flashes. Now, the Flashes are gaining some national attention, being ranked 24th in the country on a poll by Collegiate Baseball newspaper. They hope to keep their 7-game win streak alive as they are facing off against the D2 Tiffin University Dragons right now at Schnoover Stadium, finishing up their homestand. Now, this team, they lead the MAC in standings with a 12-3 record in conference play, with Aiden Longwell leading the way for them on both sides of the ball. After their game today, they will hit the road to face Miami of Ohio, and we'll be excited to see if they can keep that streak alive. Now, within that 7-game streak for the baseball team, they swept Akron in their series. The Kent State women's lacrosse team, they're going to hope to keep that same Golden Flashes momentum on the field tonight against the school down the road. This season, the ladies are 3-2 against the Zips, and they hope that MAC Defensive Player of the Week, Lily Miller, can make it 4-2. After the game in Akron, the Flashes will come home to battle the Central Michigan Chippewas, who are undefeated from Kent this season. We, of course, will have all the updates for that on kentwire.com and TV2 Sports on all platforms. And we will take it now to Motor City for the first doubleheader of the season. Josh Bell looks pretty good in that uniform, if you ask me. He's going to knock this one out to right field and even up the score from the sac fly by Javi Baez in the first. And this part of the lineup, they're going to pack a punch. Ahmed Rosario comes up, and I guess it's time to play SpongeBob because Oscar Gonzalez has taken the lead 3-1 guards. But there's a lot of baseball left to be played. Javi Baez, I told you, he's having a good day. Showing a little small ball that never hurt anyone. This single puts the Tigers 1 run closer. Kerry Carpenter now, it's his time to shine. His back must hurt because he just carried a run off of his bat with this bouncer of a double into right field. We are going to be all tied up. And the Guardians, they're going to come up here and be 1 strike away from a date with extras. But the hero of the game, Kerry Carpenter, is sent it home. Baseball, everyone, there's nothing like it. Tigers will be on top 4-0, and they will go on to win Game 2, sweeping that doubleheader.
The Guards lost yesterday, but how did the game go today?
The Guardians played really well today, and they avoided the sweep with a gorgeous 3-run shot by Jose Ramirez, of course, making their record grow to 9-9.
All right, well, thank you very much for that sports report, Della. The White House caught wind of an unexpected intruder today. How the Secret Service responded. Welcome back. The Secret Service seemed surprised after they caught a tiny intruder crawling through a fence on the north side of the White House. The agency said a small child set off security alarms, catching everyone's attention.
That's right. Secret Service members eventually were able to reunite the child with their parents. However, no one is sure if his run to the Oval Office resulted in a timeout. And are you a fan of having a physical copy of a movie? Well, you won't be able to get them from Netflix anymore. The streaming company that used to have a movie rental service is ending the business on September 29th. The company said the reason being that the business continues to shrink. This announcement came after Netflix revealed their first quarter earnings report, showing that fewer people signed up for the service than analysts expected.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but what are some streaming services you use? Among our generation, I feel like we all use streaming services.
No, definitely. I do. I mean, I use any, honestly.
Same. It really, to me, just kind of depends on what kind of show or movie I want to watch that night.
Exactly.
You know, there's a lot of different varieties across the platform.
Yeah, I mean, I love it because all of my friends each have it and we combine it so then everybody at least has something so we can get a way to watch everything.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Because I'm definitely the kind of person who's like, I'm using someone else's here, I'm using someone else's here. A bunch of my friends are using this one.
Yeah. I also will say I do like that they have like watch parties now that you can watch with your friends. I mean, my one friend and I watch shows all the time together because we're far away from each other. So it's a little bit easier to do that. But what about that child getting into the White House?
Real. Oh
I would have loved to see their parents' reaction.
I know. I think it's just really weird.
No, I want to know what was the motive. Why did you want to go in there? Like, was he just like, ooh,
he was curious.
shiny?
Exactly. I mean, maybe just wanted to meet Joe Biden.
He was announcing his 2024 campaign. That is all the time we have for today.
Thank you so much for joining us.
For updates on all of these stories and more, visit KentWired.com.
And follow us on all social media platforms at Kent Wired. I'm Aaron Houck.
I'm Della Fowler.
I've been Kelsey Drennen.
And I'm Chris Abreu. Have a great night, Portage County.